Welcome again, my achievers. It's nice to have you join me, Ms. Shamshideen, for another literacy session. For our lesson, we're going to be doing some investigative work. So, what can we investigate? Do you know another word that means investigate? Yes, we could say find out. We can investigate or try to find out almost anything that we are not sure of. Now, how do we go about doing that? And where can we find these information? Well, depending on what you want to find out, there are quite a few ways we can figure that out. And as such, there are a number of sources that we can use to find whatever information we need. These sources from which we get those information are referred to as reference material. Now, when I say reference material, you might say, but I don't know. Well, have you ever heard about the dictionary? Well, the dictionary is the first reference material that we're going to be looking at today. I'm sure that you know exactly what the dictionary is. The dictionary is a book that lists the definition of words in alphabetical order. So, what can we find in a dictionary? We could find how to pronounce a word, how many syllables there are in a word, how many definitions there are of a word, because there's some words that have more than one definitions, which simply means that they have more than one function. The word's part of speech. And also, we can know the origin of the word. Now remember that the words in the dictionary are listed in alphabetical order. There are two guide words at the top of each page of the dictionary that lets you know what words would be on that page. So remember, some time ago we did alphabetical order. So the dictionary is the best reference material for us to find the definition of words, and they're listed in alphabetical order. Our next reference material is the thesaurus. What's that? The thesaurus. Do you know what a thesaurus is? Have you ever heard about a thesaurus or used the thesaurus? A thesaurus is used to find words that mean the same as one or to find the opposite of a given word. Now, the thesaurus can be found in some dictionaries. The book may be divided into two. In the front part, you'll find words and their meanings, and at the back, you will find thesaurus, where you have synonyms and antonyms of the words that are listed. Now, they're pretty much simple to use. Just look up the word and you will see the list of synonyms and antonyms of that word. A thesaurus, however, does not usually provide you with a definition. As I said, the dictionary is what you will use to find the definition. Like the dictionary, the thesaurus is also set up in alphabetical order. Now, our next source of reference is the Almanac. The Almanac is a yearly book that lists the important events and facts from that year. The Almanac has been around since there was writing. People would write almanac so that people know what is going on or what is going to happen during the year. It's kind of like the calendar. When the almanac first started, they were full of jokes, stories, predictions, important dates, and weather predictions. They were updated every year so that they always contained the most important information available. Today, most almanacs are factual and are written after the current year. Now, there are many types of almanacs because the almanac will give you the facts or details about a specific event. You will find topics such as sports, you have almanacs for nutrition, and there are even almanacs which are designed for special cities or audiences, meaning different groups of people, business people, for miners, for farmers. And so the almanac is designed for a particular topic. Then we have the encyclopedia. The encyclopedia is a set of books that give information on a topic listed alphabetically. Articles found in an encyclopedia are usually longer and contains more information than a dictionary. Encyclopedias are a great place to start to find information about a topic you know nothing about, but should not be the only source of reference for that topic that you use. Now, what exactly can we find in an encyclopedia? The encyclopedia will have alphabetical information on almost any topic that you can think about. Now, I could remember growing up and going to school when I started secondary school. I had a set of encyclopedia in my home, and I could tell you that it was very, very useful. For almost every subject that we did at secondary school, the encyclopedia had information that we needed to use. Now, if you want to learn about space, you can look up in the S Encyclopedia. Each book has a letter, or sometimes, if the range of information is very small, you will find two letters in one encyclopedia. Again, the encyclopedia is set up in alphabetical order. So if you want to learn about frogs, you would look in the F book. However, if you want to look up a person, you will have to look up for the first letter of their last name. So let's just say, for example, you would want to look up about John Brown. You cannot look for J because J starts John. You have to look in the B encyclopedia because B begins Brown and Brown is his last or his surname. So when using the encyclopedia and you're looking for information on a person, you would want to use the first letter of their last or surname. Now, you must remember that whether you're using the dictionary, the thesaurus, or the encyclopedia, whatever reference material you're using, you must check to see if you spelled the word you're looking up correctly. You want to ensure too that you're on the right page. Sometimes you may need to change your word to a synonym of the original word if you're still having difficulties finding information. Our next reference material is the atlas. Now, have you ever seen or used an atlas? What exactly is an atlas? An atlas is a book of maps. What can we find in an atlas? We can find maps of many different places. Example, we can find maps of the world, we can find maps of a particular continent, a country, a state, a city, a town, or even a neighborhood. Atlas are very useful to find specific locations such as countries, states, city, or geographical formation, meaning you can see the landscape, how the land is set out, because the map is shaped like that. Many people use an atlas when they are going on vacation or traveling to another place. There are also specific atlas, such as historical and geographical. Now, to use an atlas, you want to make sure that you have the correct spelling of the country or area. You also want to make sure that you are looking in the right section or page, and most importantly, ensure that you are looking in the right atlas. Because while there is an atlas of the world, countries also have their own specially designed atlas. Now, with all of these reference materials or sources of information that you can use, you want to always remember to check to see if you have spelled the related word correctly. And as I said, whether or not you are in the right section or on the right page. You cannot be looking for a word that begins with B in the S section, or you cannot look for a country in the atlas and you're in the section that has maps of villages. So you have to be careful that whatever you are looking for, you take your time and you sort out those little information that can ensure that you use the reference material correctly. Now, before we end this session, let's play a game. I will describe a situation. I will give you a few seconds. You will listen and think of which reference material would be the best and fastest way to find the information that is needed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Your teacher has given you an assignment on the country of Australia. You need to find information on facts about the country, including history and the way of life of the people. Where can you find this type of information? The encyclopedia. Did you figure that out? Great job. Second task, Darnell is working on writing a sentence with each of his spelling words. He comes to a word he does not know. How can he find the definition of the word? What reference material should he use to find this information? The dictionary, of course. Fantastic. My uncle is planning a family vacation to Brazil, but he's thinking to add two other countries which are close to Brazil to visit. He is trying to decide which countries those might be. What reference material should he use to find this information? The atlas. Of course, he will use the atlas to see where Brazil is, and he could also find neighboring countries. You're doing a great job so far. Now, I'm writing a story about my experience of being alone at home on a dark, stormy night, but I do not want to use the word scary. Now, where can I find another word that means the same as scary? What reference material should I use to find this information? A thesaurus, of course, not a dictionary, but a thesaurus. Good job. Zara is invited to Kayla's birthday party for June 25th, but she is not sure what day that would be. Which reference material can Zara use to find this information? She can use an almanac. Excellent. That was quite a fun exercise. Now, you can come up with your own scenarios and decide what reference materials would be best to use. That's all I have for you today in this session. Remember, when we use reference materials, we are ensuring that we replace curiosity with facts. Until next time, stay safe and remember to tune in to the other lessons right here on the Guyana Learning Channel.